November 14th, 2017. We just picked out, Ivor the timber dog and I did, the tree along the shores of Circle Lake that will be harvested to produce a 10 by 24 inch by 14, and we're going to get this one cut down into the mill ASAP so we can get it drying a little bit. But this is a tricky harvest. This tree has got to go because there's no way for that big monster to get out of here without coming through here, and it's going to destroy this anyway, so we'll cut this first. This is the site where the large tree from which we are cutting a 10 inch by 24 inch by 14 foot long white pine timber came from. It takes quite an opening to grow a tree like that, and then it takes even bigger opening after it's felled and the limbs are cut up, but the boys did a nice job of saving what they could. We've got lots of young trees now all the way around this site that will benefit from the increased sunlight. So now that it's down on the ground, I'm gonna actually pull a tape on the height and make sure I know what the diameter is at 14 feet to be sure that we can get that 10 by 24 out of it. You know, it's certainly bigger than 24 inches in diameter, but to get a 10 inch by 24 out of it, it's got to be like a 32 inch diameter. But that tree was sound right to the pith. There isn't a crack or a check in it. Zero shake. So yeah, it's going to be a perfect beam. Okay, measuring this thing laying horizontally now. To my eye, I knew that the 14 foot mark was in here somewhere, and we just barely made it because there's a kink or a bend in this tree just beyond the 14 foot mark, and then it really tapers down. So porcupine or something, or tip weevil, or the wind got this tree when it was 14 feet tall, and then many years later it has since gotten big, but it never really continued to grow uniformly like that first 14 feet did. In fact, I don't think that there's very much taper in that first 14 feet. We've got 37 inches on the butt, and let's see what we've got here. What do you think we got, Ivor the timber dog? About 31 inches inside the bark, as best I can tell. But when we buck that up to length tomorrow at 14 foot something, we'll find out for sure. Because it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of taper we get in these butt logs on our fastest growing trees growing out in the open. Look at the growth rings on that thing. That was a really healthy tree growing in the open along the lake shore. Ivor the timber dog and I are at the sawmill now in Big Fork. This is where we, in addition to sawing, of course, we also cut up the special white pine products here in the yard, and we get mostly saw logs for the mill, but then we get some of these special pieces cut just exactly the way we want it. Much easier to do it here than in the woods. Is it going to pass inspection, Ivor? That's a yes. Excellent news. There's a little bit of a divot right where your paws are, but when we orient the log on the carriage, we'll make sure that that is in a spot that's not going to bother us. And he's sniffing it out to make sure there's no rot, and I don't think he smells any rot. Oh boy. Check it all over. Now we just got to pull a tape through there and we'll know for sure what we've got for a diameter inside the bark. All right, we measured it up. We were able to get a tape through there, and it's 32 inches on the smallest dimension. So we're gonna get that we're gonna get the timber out of it that we need. It's sound as can be all the way through. So good news.